Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. My name is Breakaway Ray. I like talking about the breakaway civilizations because we're breaking away from the one we're in now. You've tuned in to a live tarot throw. Today is October 6th, 2025. Check it out. I've got conjoined cards for each day of the work week for you. Let's go right to the tarot cam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw two cards for each day of the week to give us a little story about what we can look for this coming week, starting today, October 6th. I want to say hi to Mishlove and Julia Anchorhaven, who I see in the chat. So glad to see you both. Oh, excuse me a second. I got to do a little camera adjustment here. There we go. All right. Well, let's get it started. And good morning to the tarot world. Waking me up early so I could be all ready to bring the noise to the war on spiritual poverty. Thanks for joining me here at STARCARD Podcast. How about 10 cards for you, 2 at a time, 1 for each day of the week. It's going to be a helpful, fun message. Might as well be. Life is short. You only live once. That's like the wrong thing to say today because it's another episode on Metempsychosis. Anyway, how about 10 cards, 5 conjoined cards, 1 set each for each day of the week, please, for anyone watching this, whether it's live or in a recording. These cards are for you. Monday. Well, we're going to give one here for Monday from the top of the deck, and then we'll take the one from the bottom of the deck for Friday. We already know that's a done deal from top to bottom. Okay, now let's fill in the rest. Here we go. Monday. Tuesday. All right. All right. Great. Wednesday. Fun, helpful message. Conjoined cards for each day of the week for all the viewers at STARCARD today, or anytime you see it, whenever that recording reaches you. Here we go. And our last card for Friday. Let's get this all set up. This looks like fun to me. It's all for entertainment purposes only. I'm totally entertained. I'm having all the fun here. I'm going to share it with you right now. First up, Monday. So on Monday, we have the 8 of Cups, which is the walk away card, and the 9 of Pentacles, which is the fruits of your labor card. So you may be walking away from something that looks good, looks like it's missing something nevertheless, because you know what? You've worked hard in a certain area. You're going to follow your energies and keep going in that direction. That's where you're going to see the fruits of your labor. All right, great. Or this could also be, we'll see you later to the weekend because it's the work week and we need to, build up our pentacles so that we can enjoy the fruits of our labor later. I can go along with that. Me and my work ethic, never say die, go to work anyway. Good luck on Monday, everybody. Let's see what we got for Tuesday. Yay! On Tuesday, make sure you tune in to STARCARD Podcast. I'm talking about tomorrow. I don't know what's happening tomorrow, but it looks like on Tuesday, you get the Star card, which is filled with hope. And we'll read what it says on the card. But then check it out. You got the Knight of Swords charging forward very energetically. Let's see what it says on these cards here. Where's my magnifying glass? One moment. The Star card, hope, calm, faith, purpose, renewal, spirituality, fortune, good omen, rejuvenation. Yeah, right on, Star card. And then it also says, with its exclamation point here, Knight of Swords, ambitious, action-oriented, driven to succeed, fast thinking, defending beliefs. I can't help wondering if this is not like my outfit tomorrow, my dress shirt and my tie. But anyway, Tuesday, get ready to cut a rug and show everyone your best side. That's going to be fun. Here it comes on Wednesday. So I know that there's a message here, and it's positive, and it's uplifting, and it's inspirational. On Wednesday, you have the Justice card, and we have the Nine of Swords card. And let's take a closer look. So the Justice card talks about law and cause and effect and balance. Okay, and you could even throw authority in there. And then, well, when you say authority and law and balance, it could, show us all what we feel like on a Wednesday. It's been a long week already. We have anxiety, worry, fear, depression. Yeah, when you're in the work week, it really is hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel sometimes. But don't forget where you were yesterday. Okay, all that good energy you put forth is going to carry you through what we call hump day here in the United States of America on Wednesday. Here it comes Thursday. It's back to work with everyone that we work with and live with. The Eight of Pentacles says, hard work, mastery of skills. Let's see what else it says. Eight of Pentacles, diligence, passion, high standards, apprenticeship, mastery, skill development, repetitive tasks. Right. And then the Six of Pentacles talks about giving and taking. Thursday, make it your best work day. Do the best you can to give and take with one another. Get those extra tasks out of the way. Remember, you're trying to free up your time over the weekend so that you can expand your consciousness when you're not watching NFL football, perhaps. And then finally, on Friday, on Friday, you have the Page of Cups, who is the happy surprise guy, and the Ten of Pentacles. I see a lot of pentacles, and I hear a ka-ching sound. The Ten of Pentacles reads wealth, financial security, family, long-term success, and contribution. If you work hard all week like you do on Thursday, and you do so in an inspired way like you did on Tuesday, you could get past the days where you feel like you felt on Wednesday, and then you'll be all set on Friday, everybody. All right. That was kind of fun. Thank you very much, Tarot World, for that fun message and the commercial to like, share, and subscribe to StarCard Podcast if you're enjoying the show. All right. Next up, I see that there are some more friends in the chat. I want to remind you all that I read the chat after the show, but I will be looking for tarot requests. So hit the top fans button and type in all capital letters, tarot, please. And I'm quite sure we can get to audience readings later on in the show and we can fit you in, no problem. Let's come back upstairs now. Great. I think I have a couple of things to share. Yeah. So I got an early delivery on the latest book that I published, Let's Go Off Planet with Breakaway Ray. And you can check it out in the description. There's a link to this book, and there's a link to my first book called The Convoluted Autobiography. I like the way this came out. I want to come back down to the table and show you some features. All right. So first of all, what I like about it is, it turned out to be the perfect size. I like how I do the book covers like this, where I make the whole cover itself one photo. And this was something I photographed when I was on one of my night hikes. Something was blowing up over the coast of California. I got a great picture of it. Anyway, there's some other cool pictures. In particular, a lot of this is a tribute to Rob Khalil at the Typical Skeptic podcast. Because a lot of this was presented on his show. So there's some, it's like, if you like Rob's show, this is like a great souvenir copy to have of, things that happened when Breakaway Ray was on the show in 2024 and 2025. This was all from my pre-tarot days. I only started tarot last March. This does go up to, the Memorial Day roast is in here and some things that I wrote after, but most of it was before I did any tarot cards. Let's see if there's me singing the Star Spangled Banner or something on July 4th, my debut on his show. See what else I got here. There's that picture again from the book cover. Here I am. Here I am telling the story Clones and Bananas. And anyway, that was a fun performance. See what else I got here. Rob does some great artwork, and that was to promote the show. That was King of Mars, the Christmas Day Hanukkah show. And then let's see what else we got here. So there's a couple of short stories in here. Is this the one? Yeah. So there's a couple of short stories in here. One is called Down Under, Down Under, Down Under. I may have spoken about it before. I'm looking for more pictures to share here. This is when I was starting tarot shows on Rob's show. Okay. There's another one, the Cinco de Mayo show. And then, well, I want to show everyone, you know, when you do chat, ladies and gentlemen, you know, it's in public. So I took a screenshot of this because some people in the chat, you know, wish me a happy birthday and said they had a good time. And I said, yo, I'm going to put that in my book. And so that's like the last page of my book. So anyway, I want you to know the book is out there and you can check it out in the description. And also in the description, I've got a couple of video links to go along with what we were talking about this week. What? Oh, no. Metempsychosis. Isn't this like the 5th show in a row you're talking about metempsychosis? Come on, Breakaway Ray. How many times are you going to make us live through this? So metempsychosis is the idea of a soul moving from one body to another. Like, you know, for example, when I get tired of this body and it's time for me to go, I'm going to lay this body down. And then maybe I'll go find a new one to inhabit and have a brand new lifetime. I'll have a blank slate, as it were. I'll clear my mind of all memories, and I'll just go into the next life, you know, with a blank slate, with a fresh start, and see if I can get along and have some fun. So anyway, yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit more about metempsychosis. And I want to, as you know, I always have notes, so I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Let me check out my notes real quick. So yeah, before I ever watched Typical Skeptic podcast, I was watching New Thinking Aloud. There's a link in the description. And New Thinking Aloud is hosted by Jeffrey Mishlove. And he's a PhD in the paranormal, you know, very briefly. He's quite intelligent. And he does, what I included was like a show I saw a long time ago on reincarnation. He interviews someone who's an expert on it, who studied another expert on it, who did the research. His name is Ian Stevenson, where they documented cases of reincarnation over and over and over again. And I don't know if it's in this episode, but in one of those episodes over at New Thinking Aloud, or at least in one, it's mentioned by one of his many very psychic guests that Jeffrey Mishlove might be the reincarnation of Henry James, who was another behavioral, thinker in the field of psychology some time ago. I'm not really familiar with him. Then on top of that, because it's a fresh month here in Psytober, I brought back a video and I put it in the description from the show Inside Edition, which talks about a young boy named Christian Haupt and his famous story, the boy that knew too much. And the last name of the author is Bird. That is his mom, B-Y-R-D, Bird. The boy who knew too much. He's a boy who grew up realizing that he was the reincarnation of Lou Gehrig. And so what his mom did for part of her research, from what I understand, I didn't read the book, but I did see many videos on this, is that she went to a hypnotherapist named Jeroen, and Jeroen helped her do some past life regression. Jeroen worked with Dolores Cannon, and Dolores Cannon is a very famous hypnotherapist who accessed people's subconscious to learn about their soul's history. So anyway, Christian's mom, Ms. Bird, underwent hypnosis, QHHT hypnosis, and did some research that way and learned that, you know, she and her son had a previous life in which he was Lou Gehrig, but he, as a young boy, would be talking about things he would have no idea about, like a gift of a jewelry that Lou Gehrig gave to someone in Japan, and, you know, what trains and hotels were like when he'd never been on one before. And what I enjoyed a lot was they took young Christian to Fenway Park in Boston, in the United States, Boston, Massachusetts, to go see a baseball game. Now, out in Boston, that's where Babe Ruth started his major league career before he got traded to the Yankees. So I guess they went to Fenway and they had a big picture of George Herman Ruth, nicknamed Babe Ruth, on the wall from the 1920s. And as the young boy saw the picture, he said, "I don't like that guy. You know, he created a problem." And it's true that in real life, Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth, there was a little bit of an edge between them, which I care not to explore right now. Nevertheless, they were great teammates, obviously. They were part of the 1927 Yankees Murderers Row, many records between the two gentlemen. So anyway, there's another example of reincarnation. And then I didn't put this third example of reincarnation in the description, but I know you can find it very easily because it's Breakaway Ray. It's me. I did some research before I asked for Psychic Liz Cross's assistance with this, but I came across a lifetime as Sarah Adelia. And if you go to the video section at StarCard Podcast, you can see my interview when Psychic Liz Cross and I meet up with Sarah Adelia, and we discuss the dynamic of marriage, for example, how it played out in her life and how it plays out in mine. I'm trying to keep a straight face. So I wanted to let you know, there's 3 more examples of reincarnation, and regarding Jeffrey Mishlove, he's got scientific examples of it. This whole thing where reincarnation is supposed to be spooky, and you saw yesterday in the show the way the computer described it as supposed, that's like a new thing. Billions of people throughout history have believed in reincarnation as a natural, normal part of life and death and cycles of life, right? Many religions are predicated on the concept of reincarnation. Reincarnation was once part of the Roman Catholic dogma, but it was removed about 500, 600 years ago, or however the calendar works. So, there's an objective. It's almost like a psyop, right? There's an objective to removing reincarnation from the equation, because then you only have one chance, and you can't plan ahead for the next life. And anyone who's been hanging out with me for a little while knows I love to plan ahead. So it doesn't hurt to start creating intentions now. You know what? Next time around, this is how I'm going to handle something. And you can use your own imagination right now and think about 15 different movies you've seen throughout your life where, someone's last words are some kind of commitment to a loved one or something that they feel, committed to, right? Gee, is that how, ghosts end up hanging out in certain spots? They can't let something go. Where's the devil card when we need it? All right, let me check my notes real quick because I don't want to miss anything. Here I go. Okay. So I want to tell you, yesterday we looked at the story of Anne Frank, and I neglected to tell you another funny part of the story of Anne Frank. So the lady's name was Barbro, right? She was a young lady, and she believed that she was the reincarnation of Anne Frank. She had told her parents about it for a long time. And then eventually her parents agreed to take her to the Netherlands so that they could go see Anne Frank's house. Because after all, their daughter kept on talking about it all the time. Let's make a trip. Let's go to Holland. Let's go check it out. So as a family, they, they made hotel reservations in the same city where you can go to Anne Frank's house, and you can go see where, the bookshelf is, where you could push it out. And there's a secret compartment that leads up to the attic where Anne Frank and her family and other neighbors lived in that attic space. And, she kept a diary there for 2 years. So anyway, they fly into Holland, they check into their hotel, and then the next morning, they wake up and they go downstairs to the front desk and they say, okay, we want to get to the Anne Frank house. And so the person behind the desk is giving them the directions, and it seems kind of long and convoluted, and they're going to have to take a trolley to this one and make a connection or whatever. And then as soon as they get outside the hotel foyer, right outside the door, the young lady, Barbro, says, forget about that. I'll show you how to get there. She's never been to Holland before, but she showed her parents how to get to Anne Frank's house through a shortcut between some buildings. And, in a couple of minutes, they were there. So another example of how information can be passed on, right? Or at least access. Did she remote view the knowledge? Who knows? But I would also say, when you look at that Inside Edition video, that Inside Edition, which I put in the description with Christian Haupt and Lou Gehrig, they show the two baseball swings side by side of the young boy and Lou Gehrig, and they're like identical. And that signifies to me some kind of muscle memory, right? It's all part of your nervous system. Your nervous system is electrically charged. Your aura is electrically charged. So why couldn't it be that Lou Gehrig's life and spirit and even his muscle memory wasn't passed on to someone else? Anyway, I'm still holding. I'm still encouraging. I'm not holding, right? I'm not. You guys are all auditing my class. You can unsubscribe at any time. But I'm still encouraging everyone to identify and seek out one of your own reincarnated lifetimes, because I really do believe, as I'm about to tell you, there's something to it. We want to be able to identify our other personalities for their strengths and to help them overcome or heal whatever problems they had, so that we can move on and be stronger. Otherwise, if we don't do it, someone else is. Have we not learned anything from secret space program experiencers, or even just turning on any kind of scroll feed on social media, talking about how microwaves and chemicals in our food are changing the way we think? They change the way they change the way we think, which is why I need notes so I don't lose track of what I'm trying to say. So anyway, let's check the notes real quick. Okay, so I'm going to be telling you a couple of Dolores Cannon stories, and then we're going to go right to the tarot cards and ask the tarot cards what's up with metempsychosis, and then we'll get to the audience readings. All right, so the first Dolores Cannon story. So I almost got everything ready for the show today, right? I remembered my book, but not Dolores Cannon's book. I've got a whole bunch of Dolores Cannon books. I'm not going to show you one, so I'm just going to tell you. I read her books, The Convoluted Universe. There are 5 volumes. So I can't even tell you which books I found these episodes in, but I wrote down notes so I wouldn't forget to share them with you. So in one story, Dolores Cannon has put one of her subjects into a hypnotic trance, and she takes that patient back to a previous lifetime as a worm. This is a story about consciousness. So she takes this patient back to a previous lifetime in which the patient was a worm. And the worm was on a piece of ground, and it was raining really hard. And I guess the clump of mud or dirt collapsed, and the worm got on a branch and on a leaf. And, they rode the rapids of a brook or a stream on the leaf, and they tried to survive. And eventually the stick or the leaf or whatever the worm was riding on reached the side, and the worm was able to escape and climb up the bank and hang out with some other worms, but not all the other worms made it. So anyway, when the worm survived this rapids ride on a stick or a branch and climbed up the mud bank and got to the other worms, the first thing the other worms said to the surviving worm was, "It's too bad that the others didn't make it." And the idea is that all the worms' consciousnesses were all joined. Those worms on the bank didn't see what happened, but they sensed it or they felt it. Because in the animal world, and even in this case, in the insect world, there is consciousness, but it doesn't have to be like ours. Okay, it's going to be a little bit different. You can do a mental exercise right now and think to yourself, what would it be like if all humans did think everything and understand everything all the other humans were doing? Well, we could, but I'm going to say it's kind of lucky we have some firewalls and some buffers to help create some individuality, which is going to be dissipating pretty soon, by the way. Anyway, let's move on to my next Dolores Cannon story. The mermaid story. So I like the story I read where Dolores Cannon put one of her patients under, and she told of a life as a mermaid. I don't know if it was on this planet or another planet, but she told of a life as a mermaid, and it was really just a beautiful life, swimming and hanging out with friends and stuff. And then at the very end, she was eaten by a monster. So anyway, that had to be the most traumatic event in the mermaid's life. I don't remember how the story, resolved itself after that. I think maybe the mermaids I understood why, the monster had to do that. And, we'd actually planned it ahead of time. And that's like a hard concept for a lot of us, including me, especially me, to understand that, tragedies are sometimes planned so that our soul experiences something. And our soul only experiences something if we forget that we have a soul and it's just us right now. And then it really means something. But if we're looking at it from way up above, you know, it's kind of like watching traffic when you're in an airplane, you're flying over. You know, it doesn't have that same kind of impact, I suppose. So now I have another Dolores Cannon story I want to share. Yeah, okay. So there was a story, and I believe this happened on another planet. You know, again, Dolores Cannon hypnotizes her patient. Patient goes under, and then tells a story about how he's some kind of a creature that's doing some kind of very hard work, and it's very dangerous, and it's very grim, and a lot of his employees are getting maimed or injured or killed all the time, and it's a very long, grueling, difficult life. And all he wants to do is tell his boss, you know, we need your help. This is not okay. You could create some safety protocols, and everything would be all right, you know. But there's no way to even communicate with you, and we're stuck down here. We need your help. And this goes on for a long, long time, maybe 100 years, maybe a couple of 100 years, and then finally, this person's story goes like this. This person died, this worker died. And then it turns out that when the consciousness left that body, the consciousness went back up to where the bosses were on a spaceship, perhaps, because it was his boss who put a little piece of his own consciousness to operate the vehicle, which was the worker drone way down on the surface of the earth. And there was no other way for the boss to learn about the situation down there because they didn't have a technology that could work. What could work, though, was building a creature, a clone, some kind of vehicle that could survive down there, and then put your own consciousness in it. And then when that creature dies, it comes back up, the consciousness comes up and gives you a report. So there's lots of ways consciousness can and is being used, and we don't even think about it because no, our kindergarten teachers don't tell us about this stuff. So where am I going with this? Okay, so that's quite enough. I would like to go right to the tarot cards now and invite the tarot world to answer a couple of questions about metempsychosis and the idea of moving consciousness from one vehicle to another, one blessed, wonderful human body vehicle to another one. All right, so let's see if I left anything out here. All right, let's go to the tarot can. Metempsychosis. Hey, tarot world, I got 2 questions about metempsychosis. I mean, I think I know why it's valuable. We can awaken alternate versions of ourselves that have experience who can help us with things in this lifetime. I also think that in the future, most of us are going to be dealing with what we call dissociative identity disorder as we start to learn more about our alternate personalities while we're living a life down here. Sounds very 4D, right? Anyone know what I'm talking about? I hope I don't sound like I'm faking it. But anyway, I'd like to know, hey, tarot world, why metempsychosis? Why should we discuss it? Why shouldn't we discuss it? Why is it important? And then maybe you'd like to tell us how. You know, how can we learn to manage it or remember how to manage it? Because I believe that reincarnation, metempsychosis has been around ever since the Anunnaki were messing with humans thousands upon thousands of years ago. All right, so here we go, tarot world. Metempsychosis, why and how? And thank you very much. I mean, I got to say thanks to the tarot world for helping me prepare my lessons. I really strung together a bunch of nice ones. It's quite different now preparing for people who are 18 years old or older. Well, sure, I did show the Lou Gehrig one to the class, and there's even a storybook called The Mountains of Tibet by Mordecai Gerstein. It's another story about reincarnation, but for kids. And anyway, I guess you could say I was pushing the envelope, I was sharing that stuff. But here we go. How about the tarot world giving us a how and a why on metempsychosis? I bet you have a nice message for us. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. This message is for all of us who are brave enough to expand our consciousness and think about metempsychosis and think about alternate versions of ourselves. Because the secret space program is not going to be disclosed by the government. It's going to be discovered by us individually through consciousness. Just ask the OG secret space program whistleblower, Giordano Bruno. He'll tell you. You can go there with consciousness. You can contact everyone with consciousness. Take out your earbuds. Anyway, here we go, everybody. We're going to unplug later, and let's get the message now from the tarot world with a a final closing statement there. All right, I'm having fun. And then we're going to get to your audience readings right after this reading here from the tarot world, Metempsychosis. Why? Justice, I would answer the question why with because. How does that sound from an elementary school teacher? Why? Because. And then the Four of Pentacles talks about it being very valuable and precious. And I would like to just take the reverse Four of Pentacles. Let me get a quick look at this real quick here. Well, the very last thing on the reverse Four of Pentacles says self-protection. So I'm going to put him upside down. That's kind of what I've been talking about. We need to protect ourselves because we're already under attack. We are immersed in a situation where if we don't control our own consciousness, someone else can. So again, why? Because it's self-protection. And the Queen of Pentacles says it's the most natural and comfortable and responsible way to live. The Queen of Pentacles reads, nurturing, practical, providing financially, a working parent. All right. I'm not going to argue with the tarot world. I'm going to think even longer. I'm going to ponder upon these cards. Why? That's because. Why? That's why. Okay, next up, the Four of Wands. How are you going to do it? Homecoming. The Four of Wands is the homecoming card. You're going to come home to your center. The homecoming card: celebration, joy, harmony, marriage, home, community, and homecoming. Right. You're coming home to yourself. You are multifaceted. And then and you are watching STARCARD podcast. So it is the age of Aquarius, and you can have hope and you can be calm as you come home. You can have faith. You can have spirituality, fortune, renewal, and rejuvenation. We all get stronger when we awaken our higher self and we learn about it and we connect with it. And the Eight of Pentacles says we need to apply diligence and then it's going to take some work. I'm totally satisfied. And then look at this. I even have an encore over here. Nice. Let's see what these two cards have to say. What? So, hey, it's the Nine of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. But the Nine of Swords is reversed. And the Nine of Swords reversed sounds like the Star card. You know, well, I mean, you could start with the Nine of Swords and be anxious and sleepless and all that. Okay. However, the Nine of Swords reverse reminds you that you can release worry, you can have hope, and you can reach out. And then with the Page of Pentacles, you have a new opportunity, a financial development, a manifestation, ambition, desire, and diligence. So work hard at it and be diligent about it and overcome any anxieties you have, because look at how happy you are when, well, we all came from this place. That's where our soul families are. And we're working on our way to get back. I'm satisfied. Hey, thank you very much, Tarot World. That was a lot of fun. I'm going to get a piece of paper right now and start writing down the names of the people who want a reading. I see Sally Forth is here. Hello, Sally Forth. Hi, Namira. Hi, Silent Dreamer. All right. Great to have everybody here. Let me get a piece of paper. All right, so Flix Love, I think I did a reading for you yesterday. I'm happy to do another reading for you today, but I hope you didn't miss yesterday's. But I got you again, Flix Love. Right on. Thank you. Let's see. There's Namira. Yes, got you, Namira. Thank you, Namira. I'm going to scroll up now to see. Uh-oh, how am I doing? Okay. Hi, Ascending Universal Butterfly. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to scroll up now to see anyone else who has a tarot request. Oh, yeah, Julia is number one. You are number one, Julia. I shall have to send you an email within the next 48 hours. Let's see. And Mr. A is here. Hello, Mr. A. I'm going to write your name down. Thanks a lot for joining me again, Mr. A. All right. And let's see if anyone else. All right. I got Flix Love. Okay. Ascending Universal Butterfly. I'm going to write down your name. This is awesome. Are you kidding me? Right. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Mr. A. Okay, so I have Flix Love, Namira, Julia, Mr. A, and Ascending Universal Butterfly. And now, if anyone else would like a reading, if you drop it in the chat, I'm more likely to see it. I got my eye on the corner of the chat bubble over there, right? And then, well, anyway, let's get the tarot cards going here. First up, it's Flix Love. Excellent. Way to go, Tarot World. We're learning a lot from you today. Giving us a lot to think about. We could almost quit while we're ahead, right? No more shows the rest of the week. I'm just kidding. We would like a fun, helpful message for our friend Flix Love, please. Yes, thank you. A fun, helpful message for Flix Love. Very good. Here we go. These cards are for Flix Love. Fun, helpful message for Flix Love, please. All right. Here we go, Flix Love. Woo! That's right. It's the bell of the ball. It's the world card. The world card says everything's all finished. So you're starting off at the end. Let's see what else it says on the world card. Completion, accomplishment, wholeness, attainment, fulfillment, travel, celebration of life, arriving. Well done. Hey, this is actually good news, right? The 10 of Swords. Maybe this is all about healing and getting over something. The 10 of Swords talks about the end of a painful episode. Yeah, it's all over. Everything's done. Look at how happy this lady is that all that other stuff is behind us. Literally. The 10 of Swords, painful endings. Let's just stop right there. Because now we took those 10 of Swords and we're turning it into the 10 of Pentacles. That's how you do it. Yeah. 10 of Pentacles, wealth, financial security, family, long-term success, and contribution. Nice. Oh, and okay. I'm quite sure that there's something going on here because now you have the 9 of Pentacles, which talks about the fruits of your labor. So you probably really know what this message is all about. I want to remind everybody that this is a public forum. You do not have to give personal information in the chat or to me at all. But I just happen to think that whatever this episode is, that's over. Ka-ching. Now you get to rest on your laurels a little bit and enjoy the fruits of your labor. And then to say goodbye, the Tarot World has this message for you, Flix Love. We have turned the 5 of Wands conflict into the 3 of Pentacles collaboration and teamwork. Yay, you're taking all these negatives and turning them into positives. No wonder you're so styling. Way to go, Flix Love. All right. Next, it's Namira. I feel like the Tarot World's also in a good mood right now. Thank you, Tarot World, for that fun, helpful message for Flix Love. I hope it was helpful. It sure was entertaining for me. And then, meanwhile, how about a fun, helpful message for Namira, please? A fun, helpful message for Namira. These cards are for Namira. A fun, helpful message for Namira, please. These cards are from Namira. Okay, here we go. Thanks for inviting me to read, everybody. I love the practice. First up, whoa. Yeah, we're all wizards and magicians and high priestesses here at StarCard Podcast. It's pretty intense. This is like, junior year of college compared to Hogwarts. So anyway, Namira, the high priestess, talks about intuition, sacred knowledge, the subconscious, divine feminine, trust yourself, sensitivity, purity, and high morals. And I feel like a lot of those adjectives have applied to you for a long time. I feel like you're really deeply entrenched in this persona of the high priestess. Wow, everybody. You got to like the Nine of Pentacles keeps showing up. It's the Nine of Pentacles, enjoying the fruits of your labor. Let's read what it says on the card. Fruits of your labor, rewards, luxury, self-sufficiency, financial independence. Yeah, the high priestess does not need to rely on anyone. She takes what the universe gives her, and she gets what she needs from the universe, like we all do. We all get what we need from the universe. Next up, the Five of Wands is back, talking about conflict or having respectful boundaries. That involves being empathic, knowing where to, not to cross over someone else's line. And then the Six of Pentacles talks about giving and taking, an exchange. Let's see. Six of Pentacles, giving, receiving, sharing wealth, generosity, and charity. I always like talking about being the bigger guy, being the grown-up in the room, although we all have to remember not to let people take advantage of us and cross boundaries and things like that, right? Show love and respect to yourself first. Anyway, those are just some thoughts on my mind. This reading is for Namira. Wow, how wonderful. The Judgment card showed up, which talks about swapping out old energies that don't serve us anymore for newer, more welcome and helpful energies. And you got the Four of Wands, which is the homecoming and family and celebration card. So I hope those dynamics ring a bell. I hope it was an entertaining and an informative reading. Namira, thanks as always for inviting me to read. I appreciate it. Yeah, right on, Namira. I did not, Namira, thank you very much. I don't think I certainly didn't add Sally Forth. I'm sorry, Sally Forth. I just quickly looked in the chat and I saw that I missed Sally Forth. Maybe did I say your name? And I said good morning to you, but I didn't write your name down. I don't think. Anyway, I'm getting it right now. I'm so happy to give you a reading. Sure. Thank you very much. I know sometimes you're you're kind. You'll say, I'll let someone else take a turn. I just had a reading, but nevertheless, I'm always happy to see you. You're on my list now. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Julia next, and I'll review my list one more time. Thanks for the help, Namira and Sally Forth. Thanks for your patience. We're going to go to Julia, then Mr. A, then Ascending Universal Butterfly, and my grand finale could be Sally Forth, unless someone else also puts in a request. So anyway, hey, Julia, thanks for joining me. I'm glad you somehow make time to tune in live to StarCard Podcast, Julia. I know you're a very busy person because sometimes I tune into other podcasts and I see you're there and you're chatting and you're participating. That is so cool. All right, so the tarot world certainly has some kind of message for Julia. Here we go. Can we please have a fun, helpful message for Julia? These cards are for Julia. Wow. These cards are for Julia. Julia should put the link to her podcast in the chat. I'm not sure I've ever seen her do that. These cards are for Julia. Here we go, Julia. A fun, helpful message from the tarot world. Hey, it's the Strength card. It indicates strength. It also does talk about two other things. One thing it talks about is being able to comfort those who are grieved, those who have lost something. And another thing it indicates is an ability to be empathic with creatures other than humans, right? So anyway, let's read what it says on the strength card. Courage, passion, subtle power, persuasion, influence, inner strength, focus, and compassion. I think that these would be all terms you would find on your driver's license card. This pretty much describes you. Okay, then, yeah, it's like the tarot world saying, "Dear Julia," Six of Swords says, "We're guiding you to calmer waters." The Six of Swords talks about being guided to calmer waters by a divine hand. Is this a letter from the tarot world? Yeah. The Death card indicates change, endings and beginnings, and transformation. This guy keeps showing up. So there could be some pain and some anxiety and some sleepless nights involved as this change takes place. But no one's better situated to handle all this than you because you are so strong. And don't forget, the spirit world is there with you through this change. So anyway, we're going to molt our shell. And then the Temperance card shows up and reminds us to be balanced. Let's read what it says on the Temperance card. Harmony, moderation, patience, being sensible, purpose, and finding meaning. And the last card is the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles talks about hard work, but also productivity, efficiency, and responsibility. You have a long road ahead of you. There's a big change involved. Not everyone's going to be excited about the changes that are coming, but a strong person like you, with the kind of balance and efficiency you show, we're just going to keep presenting the message. And in that sense, by communicating, we're going to be successful. The spirit world's guiding us on this path. Anyway, Julia, thanks for inviting me to read. You know I enjoy telling the story with the tarot cards. Are you guys still there? Am I still? Okay. Looks like I'm still recording. Yeah, 5 people are there. Okay, got it. Good. Next up, Mr. A. Here we go, Mr. A. How about a fun, helpful message, please, for Mr. A? Mr. A is a dedicated viewer. Thank you, Mr. A. Another dedicated viewer. How about a fun, helpful message for Mr. A, please? Another wizard in the chat. Whoa. Did I call it? That's what's going on. These cards are for Mr. A. These cards are for Mr. A. A fun, helpful message from Mr. A, please. All right, Mr. A. Here we go. I'll be right with you there, Alice. Let's send this message to Mr. A, and I'll check the chat again. Here we go. All right, Mr. A. It's the Fool card, the very beginning of the deck, the very beginning of the major arcana. It's so far at the beginning, it's number 0. And it's at the beginning of your reading. All right. The Fool, new beginnings, possibilities, innocence, spontaneous. Sorry, they put it on 2 different lines. I always get this wrong. It's spontaneous optimism, trust in life, blind faith, adventure, opportunity, and pleasure. It's like your parent takes you to a water slide park and then just says, hey, go have fun. I'll meet you here in an hour, or I'll meet you here at lunchtime. Go have fun. You can't get hurt. Okay. It's going to be a good time. Next up, the Justice card shows up. It's law, it's cause and effect, and it's balance. Then the 7 of Swords shows up, talking about something that is hidden. And then maybe what's hidden is some kind of gold, because it's the Ace of Pentacles that shows up, right? So go explore and have fun. You're not going to get hurt. There's balance, there's law, there's cause and effect, And guess what? That's what I'm thinking of. There's an Easter egg out there for you. It's the Ace of Pentacles. Something's hidden, all right. You don't know what it is. You're a smart guy. You're very spiritually aware, but even you're not aware that there's some kind of surprise out there waiting for you. The Ace of Pentacles, abundance, manifestation, opportunity, new career or financial opportunity, new venture, prosperity. This is righteous, whatever that is. All right. Well, that already sounds good to me, right, Mr. A? And now the last message. Oh, it's the Ace of Cups again. Well, that is to say, it's another ace, but check it out. It's another message about, a new baby, a new project, a proposal, a marriage, compassion. Your cup is overflowing. You know, that Easter egg is overflowing with good chocolate. And then the Knight of Pentacles talks about efficiency and productivity and hard work. Whatever you find, you're going to work so hard at it, but you're going to love it so much. It's going to be like one of those things where you say, I don't have to work a day in my life because I love what I'm doing. Anyway, Mr. A, that was a fun read. I hope that was a fun read for you. And I want to say good luck to you. Thanks for inviting me to read. Okay, so looks like there's somebody else I may have missed. Because I read the chat in detail after the show. So Alice, it looks like you want a reading, Alice. So I'm going to write down your name. I'm not reading things carefully, but when people put it in capital letters, it does help me. I know. There you go, Alice. I got your top fans button. Good deal. So I got you down, Alice. And do I understand you're in India? That is so cool. I'm so happy to connect with you. Thanks for coming to StarCard Podcast. All right, Alice, in India. So did I miss anybody else? Okay, so I'm going to go back down, and next up, it's Ascending Universal Butterfly. See, this is why I just read Mr. A's comment. This is why I can't read the chat now. I'll have too much fun. So I've got the Ascending Universal Butterfly, then Sally Forth, and then Alice. All right, so next up, Ascending Universal Butterfly. Thanks for all the help, everybody. I know everyone's helping each other out. And you guys have helped me out before. We're all a team here. We're all having a good time. Party on. All right. Ascending Universal Butterfly. Great. Got it, Alice. Oh, well done. But these cards are for Ascending Universal Butterfly. Thank you, Tarot World. Just as much as you want to send out positive, helpful messages, our friends in the chat are looking for them. So I know you have a fun, helpful message for our friend, Ascending Universal Butterfly. Way to go, Ascending Universal Butterfly. Thanks for joining my chat today. Thanks for following along with StarCard Podcast. Hey, everybody, you're all welcome to like, invite, share, subscribe. And these cards are for Ascending Universal Butterfly. These cards are for Ascending Universal Butterfly. That's right. These cards are for Ascending Universal Butterfly. Is that right? That is right. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for making my my show go well, Tarot World. Here I go. Keep them coming. All right, so it's the Devil card, and that indicates the shadow self. And for anyone who's new here, the Devil card also talks about letting go of things. For example, the two smaller figures both have chains around their neck, but the chain is very loose. Each of them could just lift the chain over their head and be free. So the Devil card does talk about letting go of stuff. Let's see it in the context of the rest of this sentence. Remember, because it's a fun, helpful message. And the Ace of Swords talks about surgery, as a matter of fact. So not literal surgery, but it does say surgery. Other things it says here about the Ace of Swords: mental clarity, breakthroughs, new ideas, success, sharp mind, new conflict, and surgery. Maybe we awake. It's like waking up from a bad dream and we realize, why are we going along with this for so long? We can let this go. This does not have to be part of our life anymore. Then we see things very clearly, and gives us a breakthrough of sorts. Where, yay, talk about breakthroughs. You're watching StarCard Podcast. And then you get the star card, which says hope, calm, faith, purpose, renewal, spirituality, fortune, good omen, and rejuvenation. It's almost like the instruction sheet I should have typed out for everyone's homework assignment, which is to discover their past lives. In meditation, let go of today's world and the moment. Okay, have a breakthrough. Okay, and have hope and get in touch with your higher self. But anyway, welcome back. It's the Five of Wands, and there's going to be conflict. It's not going to be easy. Let's see what else it says here. These cards for Ascending Universal Butterfly. Ascending Universal Butterfly, we're letting something go. We got a breakthrough. We can have hope. But yeah, there's going to be some conflict. Five of Wands says competition, rivalry, disagreements, strife, and tension. Just because some of us are aware doesn't mean that all of us are. We have to respect each other's boundaries. And the last of the message is, oh, how nice. So the Two of Wands says that you have a good plan. The universe approves of it and they support you. You have the green light, go. And then that good plan that you have, okay, that's going to lead you to the Nine of Pentacles, where you're going to get to enjoy the fruits of your labor, rewards, luxury, self-sufficiency, and financial independence. It really does look like a story. Again, let it go. You have a breakthrough. You're elevating your consciousness. Forget about the conflicts. There's always going to be conflicts. You have a good plan. Look where you're going. Anyway, I hope that was a fun read. Nice. Thank you very much, Ascending Universal Butterfly. Now, next up, it's Sally Forth. Right on, Sally Forth. We're a team, Sally. Here we go. Thank you, Tarot World, for all the great messages this morning. I'm sure you have one for our friend Sally Forth, another dedicated listener, devoted parent, as far as I can tell. It's not hard to tell. Any helpful, fun messages to give Sally Forth a little extra pep the rest of the day and the rest of the week, that would be great. It'd make me look good if I could help Sally Forth that way. Can we please have a helpful, fun message for Sally Forth? Thank you. These cards are for Sally Forth. For Sally Forth. These cards are for Sally Forth. A helpful, fun message for Sally Forth. Yeah, it is this one. Okay. Here we go, Sally Forth. Yay. Let's start with some magic and the Magician card for Sally Forth. The Magician. Action, creation, manifestation, power, self-confidence, clarity, willpower, skill, creativity. You're not taking anything from nobody. Next, the Nine of Swords. I don't know what's up with this card today. I will turn it upside down, but the Nine of Swords talks about anxiety, worry, fear, depression, nightmares, insomnia, hopelessness, trauma, and despair. All right, but don't forget, you got all this magic going on. You've got the light to this is like the night light for the poor person who's having the bad dreams over here. Oh, oh. So then the Devil card shows up saying we're ready to let something go. We can let this bad dream go. Yay, because the Page of Pentacles shows up, and the Page of Pentacles says there's manifestation, a financial opportunity, there's skill development, there's ambition, desire, and diligence. We have a desire to let this go. It's going to provide us with a new opportunity. We're already equipped with the magic we need to make this happen. And the last part of the message is, that this is almost like the how-to. How you do it? The Ace of Wands says you use your magic, and the Hermit says it means you're doing it, from the inside. You're using hermetic sciences. You're orchestrating what you want on the outside by restructuring the way things are on the inside. Complicated message, but at the same time, it would sound more simple if we like for my own personal experience, I can only speak for myself. If we didn't have all this counter programming that we have to overcome in order to get to that place, to be the magicians that we really are. But I want to wish you a lot of luck, Sally Forth, and I want to thank you for inviting me to read. Look, this is like a powerful message. I mean, you're not going to be doing, I mean, it's great to do magic with other people. It's great to do magic with other people, but it starts, you know, individually first. Anyway, good luck, Sally Forth. And then next up, all right, I see Alice in India is the last one on my list. And I think since we just passed the hour mark, Alice might be my last one. So here we go. This is for Alice all the way over in India. You're on the opposite side of the planet from me. This is so exciting. And it just goes to show how powerful we are spiritually and technologically. We couldn't have done this maybe just a few years ago. We couldn't even have thought of this kind of stuff, not in the standard lifestyles, in the standard civilization in the 1980s, for example. But anyway, hey, Tarot World, here's your big chance to help me make friends over in India. How about a fun, helpful message for Alice in India? So happy she could join us. Thank you, Alice. These cards are for Alice. A fun, helpful message for Alice. Wow. These cards are for Alice. All right. These cards for Alice. Thank you, Tarot World. What a great show you put on today. Thanks for making me look good. Here we go, Alice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Let's have fun. A fun, helpful message. Wow. So we start with the Four of Cups. Now, there are 4 cups there, but this guy looks like he's bummed because he's looking at 3 cups. And he's not paying attention to the 4th cup, but the universe is giving him the 4th cup. Let's read what it says. Meditation, contemplation, apathy, reevaluation, disconnected. Oh, you're not that disconnected. This is the 2 of Cups, and the 2 of Cups talks about a connection. Let's take a look at the 2 of Cups. Unified love, partnership, mutual attraction, proposal, marriage, connection. Okay, I have to admit, Alice, that's, you know, I've only been doing tarot cards since March, and I think that's unusual that we start with a disconnection card and follow it with a connection card, unless this is like some kind of timeline where at first you weren't connected, but now you are. That sounds pretty cool. Way to connect. Good for you. We're all here to support you. Yeah. And then now that you are connected, Alice, it's the Knight of Cups. This is the Knight in Shining Armor card. Creativity, romantic charm, imagination, beauty, Knight in Shining Armor, following the heart, Prince Charming, and proposals. And then the King of Wands is the big picture guy. And check out the terms on the King of Wands card. Natural leader, visionary, entrepreneur, big picture, overcoming challenges, mature, career focused. I see an upward slope here. We started out disconnected. We made a connection with some Knight in Shining Armor guy. And now, you know, we're as powerful as the King of Wands. We got a big career objective here. And the last message is the 10 of Pentacles, which talks about family and long-term success and contribution and financial security. And then the 2 of Pentacles talks about balance and multiple priorities. But just in case, I want to take a look at the reverse 2 of Pentacles because I felt like it was reversed when I flipped it. But no, I don't think that was an issue. So it looks like, you know, there's long-term success, family and fulfillment, and maybe even more than you expected because there'll be a lot going on. You'll be paying attention to a lot. You'll have multiple priorities. This could mean, you know, a rich family life and a rich workplace life, for example. Well, Alice, it was a pleasure. And thank you for inviting me to read. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. I invite you to check out the videos at StarCard Podcast, not just the live section, because I'm working very slowly to put together polished, finished, edited videos that have more Breakaway Ray, if that's what you like. So we're going to keep on trying the best we can and come out on weekday mornings. And in the meantime, everybody, have a great day. Thanks a lot for joining me. I'll see you next time on StarCard Podcast.